Hi guys, welcome to my channel I Know Animation, and today I am going to show you all in this tutorial how I animated this scene from Mushishi, and I can probably share some of the few tips and tricks that help me to get things done faster. And so let's get started. Okay, so the animation process that I use is not some standard animation process that has been explained in many videos. In fact, I'm not even using the software that probably they use, but I'll be using a software called Blender, which is a free open source software which I use for most of my videos. It is free to download, and I will provide the link in the description so you all can check that out. And the process that I go through is usually the storyboard, key poses, rough drawings, then guides for the tough poses, coloring, backgrounds, and uh, compiling it, and the final animation. And I'm doing this work in Blender, but it can be done in many other softwares. There are many other open source softwares like Krita and Toon Boom Harmony, Flash. So it's not necessary to be for Blender to be used. However, I'm comfortable with Blender, so I use it. So let's dive into the first process, that is the storyboard. So usually before I start animating, I prepare a storyboard. A storyboard is very important to start with while animating. So first, in my process, since I was working on a fan animation and I was inspired by this particular book cover, this is a screenshot of it. So I was inspired by this drawing, and it has never been animated in the anime itself. And so I decided to work on it and see how it would look in an animation. And I wanted to get an idea of how I will animate this scene and the camera angles I would take. And so I made a very rough storyboard and took some it's like I took some images for reference of how the main character looks in this case, to get an idea, so I don't go off track. And then I made this rough storyboard. And in the storyboard, so this was the first scene where we see Ginko, the main character, walking. And yeah, that's the first scene. And in the second scene, we see him look. There's another the camera is right in front of his head, and he turns, and I made a rough arrow, signifying that he turns. And then in the last scene, it's a very rough drawing of the same scene where he's holding his shoes in his hand and he looks back again, and here the camera is behind him and slightly above him. How we can see in the final image itself. And so the animation progresses right from uh, the first scene of him walking, the second scene in which it looks where the camera comes in front of him, and the third scene where the scene is slightly zoomed in and it pans upward. And that's that's a storyboarding process, so I get an idea of how the animation will go through in the go through the process, the part that it will follow. So even before you make any animation, you need to keep these things in mind. Okay, so after seeing the storyboard, we go to the key poses. So let me take you to that. And so we finally jump into Blender. So Blender, when it starts, it's actually a 3D animation software, but actually it's just not only a 3D software, but it also has 2D animation, sculpting, VFX, and video editing. So there are a wide range of things it covers, and usually if you want to do 2D animation, you straight go to 2D animation and it sets up all the things required for you to directly start drawing. However, I'll be opening my file to show you all how I how I set the key poses first before drawing. Okay, so here is a blend file, and it includes the basic drawing of the animation of the first of the walk cycle that we see. So if I scrub to the frames, you can see him walking and his hair shaking slightly. So how is it done? Basically, first while drawing the initial drawing, I go to object mode, and I press Shift A, and I have this option called as image, reference image, where I can import any reference image that I want. So I already imported the reference image, and it is this image that I had drawn first, very initially, a rough drawing of him walking. So this is how the rough drawing comes in, used to imagine how the scene will take place. Then basically use the strokes and paired it up on top of the rough image. So this would be like my first drawing if I started drawing on the rough image. And even though I use a graphic tablet, it is possible to actually achieve this with a mouse. However, it would take a little more time and strokes will not be that smooth, hopefully. And so now as we remove the background image, we have the keyframes over here. So basically each time a new drawing is drawn, a new keyframe comes. So like for example, if I go like this many keyframes are already drawn, but like if I wanted to start a new drawing altogether, like after this, so I could basically go 2 frames ahead. In this case I want 2 frames ahead because the animation will be otherwise very fast. And so like if I start drawing, then it has become, if you see, you notice the color has become slightly dull, and that shows that you started off on a new frame, and this is like an onion skin which can be toggled off from here, like the opacity of the onion skin. So basically it's like greenish color to make us understand that it is the onion skin and not the actual drawing. And so basically like after this frame, if we go through the timeline, you will see that only this line appears because that's the only thing we have drawn. So I press Ctrl Z to undo that. And so now basically you keep drawing each frame by frame the movement of the character, and like the slight subtle movements, like the legs and the legs walking. So basically like in this I had 3 key poses. First was this key pose of him standing. The second key pose was of him walking, and if you notice in this key pose, what happens basically at frame 11 is that when he's standing straight, he's slightly taller, and then his head goes slightly down as in fact not his head, his whole body goes slightly down as he walks ahead, and there's slight movement in his hair as well, like his hair's pretty long and like it shakes slightly as he moves, and even the cloth sways a little bit. So I put the subtle details as it's walking, and like it gives more of an illusion of depth to the 2D character, like as if it's a 3D character as he's walking. Now some of the tips that I could give you like is after you draw the keyframes, like for example it's your first keyframe, then the 11th frame, the second keyframe, and again the third keyframe. The 21st frame is again your third keyframe, and these are in between that are there in between the keyframe poses. So basically, while drawing it, like the animators, usually any starting animator might think that you have to draw each frame pose by pose, but actually a faster way to do this is to select the keyframe, and I'm pressing Shift D here and copying the keyframe. So what has happened is basically last keyframe has been copied again, Then after copying the last keyframe, what I would do is I'll manually go to object mode and take it slightly down, so you can notice the difference. Like if I go back to the draw mode, and if you see, wait, I think I should put a little bit more down. Oh sorry, I mean not in the object mode, I mean you go to the edit mode, and in the edit mode itself you select the character and you take him slightly below, and as you take him slightly below you can see the onion skin also, so you know how much below you're taking your character. And like then you can go forward, back, and you can see the slight subtle change. And we go back to the draw mode, and you go back to the draw mode, and after going to the draw mode, like his hair might move slightly, so maybe in the 41st frame I might take the eraser tool and like just erase his hair slightly. And after erasing his hair, to create a flutter, the brush is rather thick, so you can like reduce the size a little, and you can draw his hair again and make it flutter slightly. The changes must be very subtle, as it won't look natural. Maybe like this. I'm using Ctrl Z to undo any actions I feel I've done wrong, and maybe at the same time, since his legs also have moved slightly ahead, so I erase his legs out, just 10% of the brush to get the maximum erasing effect. And after erasing this part, we draw his legs again, and so he takes a step forward, and after taking a step forward like this, so like this leg is moving forward, and his other leg can be seen slightly. So now if you scrub to the frames, you can get a slight effect. I mean, like it's very rough, but you can get a slight idea of movement. So like this is how I created the walk cycle really fast. So basically, like I used my base drawing and kept on copying it and kept on drawing each pose by pose for the leg by keeping on erasing the leg. I even erased this part here. That's a cloth animation showing it swaying slightly, and the same thing with the hair. And get and I kept that main frame which I had first drawn constant. So that's how I got this animation of this guy walking. Then what I basically did was, after that, so like since it's a 3D software, and even many 2D softwares like Photoshop also have layers in them. So basically layers panel for Blender is out here, and like I can toggle the opacity of each layer. And so as you can notice, I've drawn each like thing separately on a different layer. Like the first set of plants that appear before the main character in front, and the plants behind on a different layer again. So to give you a better idea of these layers, you slowly go to the 3D view, and as you can see, like this is our camera, and like now we've left the camera view and we're seeing this in 3D. So if I go to object mode and we check the object mode out here, and I move these plants slightly ahead, so and I can move these back plants slightly behind, so you get an idea. Like basically our front set of plants is here and the character is here in the middle, and the back set of plants is behind. And so when you go into the camera view pressing 0, it all looks the same. except that now I've taken them a little bit front back, so just slightly the positions have been shifted. If you press Ctrl Z and go back, then for something like this. And so that's it for the key poses. This is how like the key poses and the background setting was done. Very basic background setting. We haven't yet gone into the background, like we still have a white background behind. And finally, for these plants, to give them a parallax effect, what I did is basically to give these plants a parallax effect, I was in the object mode and I set this button to set automatic keyframes. So what happens is like I set these plants up ahead and that number of frames. So I set them to 25 frames, like to move within 25 frames. First, this is the starting position over here, and then the ending position is here, and then like I set this at a like little bit faster pace. So like now you see as I make it scroll to the timeline, it goes pretty fast. Maybe it's a bit too fast, like it doesn't match with his walking, and it looks really fast. So what I could do to slow down the speed is when it's on this keyframe, I can change the position and make it a little bit ahead. So now when we see him walking, it has slowed down a little. And for the behind plants, like in order to give the parallax effect, they should be moving at a separate speed from the front plants. Like as the objects are more behind in the parallax effect, they move more slowly. So like I'll set this up a little bit ahead, and within the 25 frames, as I can already see the front set of plants moving. So I'll set them like to go behind, but very slightly, like it should be subtle. And so like when it's moving, it gives that effect like a depth effect because it's moving at a different speed. As even you can see in the original animation where it's completely completed, I've also set like the background to have a parallax effect in that. So that's it for the key poses and for the background, slight bit for the background as well. And guys, don't forget to join me in my next part 2 tutorial in which I'll be talking about rough drawings and coloring. So see you in the next video, and don't forget to like this video if you liked it.